Hi, we're James and Rob and this is our dog Oscar. It's a really steep learning curve when you start your motorhome, campervan or caravan journey, and there is lots that we wish we had known. So we decided to document what we have learned and share with you our adventures as we head out on the road again.
Yeah, loads of space. And then right again. And there's a camping sign. There, go. 300 yards. Vehicle on arrival.
So welcome to the Camping and Caravan Club Moffat site. We'll just have a wander in. So the site was fairly easy to find, but as you'll notice our sat-nav took us to the co-op. But the great thing about this site is it's right in the centre of town, and as you approach over this little brook, there's a shop here that was actually making pizzas last night. You can also organise cycling, kayaking and all the rest of it. Then you drive over this bridge where there is this lovely brook, and we head on down to reception. And one thing that's really great is that on the right hand side here there is a dedicated dog walking area, which is great, so you can let your dog have a run, and there's some poo bins, which is really nice. This is definitely something that we really like about the site, the fact that there's this big dedicated dog walking area, which means we can take our dogs off the lead, and you would hope that all owners would clear up their dog poop, but clearly not everybody does. But anyway, there's lots of bins around, and it's nice to give Oscar a run before we head off to our next destination. So that's definitely one of the pluses about having being on a larger site, is that they have these kind of dedicated dog areas, because obviously, as you know, if you have a dog you need to keep your dog on the lead at all times, and so this is nice that he can have a run around and explore and smell some new smells, some new Scottish smells. And then you come down here to reception on your left, and then you stop and they come out and check you in. It was all very efficient, and then someone showed us around on a bike to the various pitch options, and you'll see that we picked one near the trees, There's a little registration area here with some local information. I don't think it's a shop, but nevertheless it's useful. And then you have a coded gate here, and you enter through the gate, and then it's all very well signposted as you drive around the site. Most of it's one way, some of it's two way, but you can see it's a beautiful location. It's surrounded by the hills in the background, and you're literally 2 minutes walk into town. So that's what we really like about this site. What we don't like so much is how kind of cramped in it is. You can see that there isn't a huge amount of space, and at times it looks a bit like a car park. So this is what a typical pitch looks like. You've got a bit of hard standing ground plus a piece of grass as well, so not bad, but as you can see the vans are fairly packed in. In fact, in defence of that, this is actually a storage area over here. It's all very clearly pathed. Each pitch has got its own power, and there are quite a few waste points where you can fill up with water and get rid of your waste and your grey water. But if you want to fill up with a hose like we needed to do yesterday, then you need to go to the one kind of service point which is on the entrance. I'll show you that in a moment. Now on the right hand side here we've got the toilet blocks. So this is the shower block, but unfortunately, as you can see at the moment, the shower is closed for cleaning, so I can't take you in there. But they have a laundry room and also a really good chemical toilet point. We tend to use the facilities in our van, so that's not so important for us. But here's a typical pitch. So you've got room for your van, a piece of grass, and you've also got power on site. And then to my right here is the motorhome service point. So this is where you can empty your grey water and also fill up with drinking water, which is what we did because it's easier filling up with our hose. But you can also fill up manually from lots of water points round the site. So as we walk down, again you can see kind of it's a fairly big site, and I think people will probably pick this location for its proximity to town and probably lots of beautiful walks as well. But as I say, we chose a pitch which I'll walk you to now, which is by the trees, so it's got a little bit more privacy. But again, you can see how beautiful the hills are in the distance and lots of wildlife around. And as I said, it's literally a couple of minutes walk into town. So walking on down, you can see James in the distance being very busy tidying up the van, because we've got some friends who are popping over who live in Moffat and just have a look at the van. As I said, when you arrive, someone on a bike will show you the available spots, and arrival time is 1 p.m. and I think checkout is 10 or 11. We've actually booked 2 days, which is the minimum you could book over the weekend, but we're actually leaving today. But the nice thing about that is it means that we can leave at our leisure. So this is where we chose to park our van, and as I say, you can see that we've got a bit of space to pull out your awning. They want you to make sure that your awning doesn't go onto the grass area here. And then we've got power to the van there. And then almost opposite us is a waste disposal point. So here you can see there is all sorts of recycling and a bin, plus a water tap, plus also an area where you can get rid of your grey water, which is what we'll do when we leave, because we've got a waste master, which is the most invaluable item. So beautiful settings, and there's James busy. James, say hello. It's James busy just getting rid of our wastewater, so we're just getting ready to leave later on. Now on a Sunday, which it is today, there is a market in town which I think sells meats and chocolates and all sorts of other artisan things, so we'll be heading on into town shortly to check that out before we leave today and head up to I think we're going to the Trossachs today, which is about a 90-mile journey, so quite a lot less than the drives we've done over the last couple of days. But beautiful setting and great location, but for us it's a little bit cramped in, which I think is probably often typical. I'm sure you can correct me if I'm wrong, with a number of the bigger camper and caravan sites. As you know, we prefer the smaller CL sites, and in fact we're off to a parking in the forest site today, so it will be interesting to share with you what that is like. The other thing that's worth saying, we haven't actually checked this out, but in the distance, I'll show you over here, just walk over there a bit. In the distance you can see a coffee shop, so let's just have a look over there. So as I was saying, in the distance you can see a coffee shop over here, so I'm really not sure what that's like. I don't think we're going to go and check it out. We'd probably more like to have a coffee in town, but there looks like some additional pitches over there as well, so not entirely sure the number of pitches, but it must be 100 or so across the site. And as I say, they have varying degrees of privacy. Obviously the ones near the trees where we have pitched up is a little bit quieter. Now most of the pitches are fairly flat. You can see a few people have actually put their wedges in to level up, but we were flat enough that we didn't bother, and because we're only here for one night and we're not really using the gas, then it wasn't so important. Of course, you want to make sure that if you aren't using the wedges and you only have one plug hole like we do in our shower, that you need to have your van leaning the right way so that water goes down the plug hole. Otherwise it's a bit of a challenge to get rid of the water. So there you go, that's my review of the Moffat Camping and Caravan site club. I hope you found it useful. Please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, leave a comment if there's other things that you'd like me to include in these reviews, or are there things that you agree or disagree with. But on the plus side, right in the centre of town, easy to get to, really accessible from the motorway. I think it's the A74M, so it's a great first stop off point if you are just arriving in Scotland and heading north like we are. And if you like the kind of facilities on these big sites, then this is going to be the one for you. But I hope you found that useful. But otherwise, I will see you next week on the next episode of On the Road Again.